before it's surface anymore. And I'm not saying it in a judgmental way, but I haven't got small time for small talk. You know, if you know what that means, you know, I'm about like just rather just, you know.
So you don't want to talk about the weather?
Yeah, absolutely not. To be honest, yeah, that's exactly it. Thank you. Not that I, you know, the weather is the weather. That's the thing. The weather is the weather. There's nothing really to talk about, you know.
I know, like even with my siblings, we don't start with that, but it's always comes down to that. Sometimes you're like, oh, what's the weather there? You know, but
yeah, because
you know, I'm here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, unless
it's
something
just
very tragic happens.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's like, oh, it's like 10 degrees here or whatever. Like, okay.
Yeah, like what?
No.
Yeah. Interesting, huh? Yeah. Oh, Nikki. Oh, they're gone. He's talking to me. What does he say? Over your and our time, talk about what's important in the heart. Yeah. Oh, yeah, boundaries. Oh my God, that's it. Yeah. 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 So true.
And I feel you broke that boundary. You know, you were saying that like you had a hard time to talk on Zoom.
Yeah.
Shy or something.
Yeah, very. It's crazy. And when I heard you, Pascal, say, and I just want to say that because this is coming up for me now, so I'm just going with it. So yesterday when you came up, when you said, you know, in your men's group, you were always so shy. And you just like, you know, for what it's worth. And you took a very bold step just to be very courageous and just share what you were feeling at the time when you didn't come in agreement with somebody. And it can get really uncomfortable. Your body can really react and go, oh my God. Like, and especially when you go through things where your boundaries weren't respected or you weren't respected, you know, and then you go, oh, that feeling of going way back. I can remember the age I was, you know, from a little girl. You step out of, you know, out of agreement with somebody, it's like you'll get whacked. Serious whacked over the head or get like something thrown at you. Go, oh my God. It's like there was like serious zones, you know. But what I liked about it when you said that you were shy, and then yesterday you took Jessie and I, Mona was just got off the call, and you took us with a I wouldn't say challenge, but it's a proposal, like a little suggestion. And I like that because you really led us. You led us to go within and question and decide, you know, because in the end of the day, that's what I love about real guiding, as somebody to guide you, to allow you to get the answers, that you don't give the answers, you know, because we all want to, in the end of the day, no one's going to save you, right? No one's going to save you. You can, you know, and so for you to get the answers for yourself, it was like, wow, you know, I really could go in and find those answers because I like the fact that you asked us. You asked the question, but you also asked us. And I realized that for what it's worth for now, that I can also ask the questions because I now ask questions, but I was never asked, what do you like? What would you want? Or what would you choose? I'm just saying for where and how I came out to come out with this, you know? And so, yes, it's very revealing because here I am, you know, here I am, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I would say about like saving people, because like for me, like a prayer is not about like, oh, please help Mona to save her from her situation. She doesn't deserve this and this and that. For me, a prayer is more like guide her. So it's really help her in guiding her for better choices or whatever she needs, right? So instead, because I grew up really religious and church, and then like you pray, almost like you pray someone's gonna save you from the situation that you're either gonna be into or something that passed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, can you remove this from my past, kind of thing, right? But it's really now, as me becoming a father, is be a guide, save my son. Because I had a discussion at work with the guy, and he's like, I don't know if now I'm overprotective of my son. I love him so much, but like I don't allow him to do too much, right? Because where he's gonna fall nice and this and that. I'm like, well, why don't you guide him instead than like block him from doing things, right? So
yeah, I hear that.
because he's allowed
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like, so beautiful.
to me there's a big distinction, right? So
what's that? Sorry?
big distinction between the two, right?
What do you say? Ancient what? I can't hear that word.
Distinction.
Tension. Yeah. Yes.
There's a big difference.
Yeah.
Guy and being a traditional father that would tell your kids what to do because you think more than him.
Yeah. No, I hear that. It's true. Oh, Troy couldn't walk, but would climb up the fireplace and jump off. Oh my goodness. Troy letting go of emotion and reveal the wisdom to make the next step forwards. That's Jesse. Engineer, absolute. Troy letting go of emotion. It's so beautiful because, I also grew up religious. Didn't have a relationship, but I had a religion. And there was a lot of rules to have to follow and fear that came with it. So it was a very unsafe place for me, But I took it into my own understanding that I wanted to know who God was for me, who is this God, And for me, what brought me out of all that difficulty and challenges and overcoming was my faith. I have to say that, because without that, I wouldn't have been able to take the necessary steps and very difficult steps, Yeah. And and so that was for me when I pray, just like a meditation. I speak into my spirit because that's who we are, but also allowing as words of confirmation, of confirming, in knowing what your soul wants to know and what it wants to hear. And this is where, when you do speak with the obvious, you're going into the unknown. You're going into that place where you listen to what's coming up, And when that happens, it's unconsciously, you're out of a program. You're not in that program with society that gives you that from the age of 0 to 7. You're out of that, and you can then go deep with what you want to share. With what Jesse shared yesterday in his prayer, in his meditation, was very significant for me. I was on mute. I was
Yeah, I
reading
think
what.
you were on mute. Yeah, I was just like,
Yeah, I was on mute because parents. Jesse says parents protect, not limit, guide, but informing by being a demonstration is what kids will pick up most of all. Yeah.
I think because he changed it to light trains.
Yeah. Mm. Because what happened with me and my upbringing, as much as I went to church every Sunday and having to have cell group, as we had cell group, a gathering in the Wednesday, everybody in your neighborhood that goes to the same church comes to everyone's home, and it was called a cell group. Everyone joins, and you have a meeting and a gathering as such. Yeah. And I just remember that my parents were just a performer. Yeah, they just wanted to perform. They just wanted everyone else to see, that they were perfect. Like they were doing everything right. And it's not anything bad or good, but behind the scene, oh my God, it was completely the opposite. Completely the opposite. And it was very confusing for me as a child. Going to church, hallelujah, praise, la la la, pray, la 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 la. And you get into the car, you're not even left the church building, and they're fighting, like fighting. And it will go on through the whole day like that, if not days. And it was very destructive. It was actually quite painful, and then just having things turn to their own control because they were inferior. It's not judging my parents, but they were inferior. They were insecure. They were emotionally immature. They were trying to do the right things, but unfortunately, they just were children. They didn't, they picked up things from their own parents and continued it, and they didn't want to allow themselves to get off from their pride. A lot of pride there. Pride comes before destruction. I realized and saw this from a very young age, And it was like, and that's when I started to say, no, you maybe have not got your shit together, and you carried a few things, but I stop it. It stops here with me. I made that decision when I was 12, and that was my search. I said, stops here with me. It's not going to go further. But unfortunately, with having, an understanding now that you have learned a little bit, not learned a little, learned a lot. Yeah. Of this understanding of who and who we are as conscious beings. Yeah. Yeah. It's very powerful to be able to take your power back and to say, yeah, it's okay. Nothing personal. It's just like it stops here with me. Because what my son's going to go through in his life will go through his own. But I can guarantee you, he does not witness that kind of lifestyle, He doesn't. Yeah, no, no. And I last night when he came home from soccer, I sit up and wait for him. He knows that I wait for him to come home, and it was just a little after 10:30, and he's supposed to be home, but he did text me, and he was with his friend, and he was with his soccer guy friends, and you know, being at another home, and it was just like, yeah, it was lovely because he came home, and yeah, I was just like, I could just feel the joy of being proud of him. It's a wonderful feeling. And he was sitting in the living room, and I said, "Are you going to go to bed now? Because it's quite late now." So he said, "Yeah, yeah." And I came up to him and just like, it was so nice because I didn't have to do anything. I just said, I always ask him if I can hug him because he's at an age where he doesn't want to be touched too much or kissy or huggy. No, 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 no. 14, no, 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 no. But you don't like it. I have to ask. I have to ask. I said, can I hug you? Can I have a hug? Something like this. And we hugged, but he didn't just give me that 2-second hug, because sometimes it's, we were just hugging. We just hugged. And I could stroke his back, like, how you stroke a back, just stroke his back. And I could just be there hugging him. And I just thought, wow, this is lovely, And we just hugged. And he really allowed that, It was a few seconds. It felt like, what a long time hug. It was nice. And it was just like, okay, good night. You know what I mean? And I could feel it in my body. I could just feel it in my body, that he was contented. It's just contented, he knows where his home is. He knows he's loved. He knows that he has responsibilities that he follows through. He knows that I trust him, and all these things. It's just nothing of anything of pressure. It's just it follow through of what he knows that I like, to know, because I give him that communication. Because when I say I need you to tell me where you are, it's just because I need to know. It's just for my consciousness. I can feel at rest, and I know that wherever you are there. And if I need to reach you, that you'll be there. It's just that kind of understanding, It's not like I told you and you have to, and it's just, yeah, it's just cool.
Peace of mind for you, right?
It's a peace of mind. It's really a peace of mind. Yeah. And the friends that he hangs out with are all his athletes, like all sporty soccer, the soccer team, he's all these soccer guys. And so they're all like into soccer. They're all into, that lifestyle of knowing that they're athletes. They have to be healthy, and stay strong. Make good decisions, because the girls are coming out of the closets. Yeah, in every corner, I've got girls coming. Girls, oh my God, girls knocking on my door. Girls, literally, I'm at the bus stop and they come and go, "Hi, are you Charles's mother?" Oh my God, who are you? Like, what's you? They're like coming out of the woodwork. It's like, I go, okay, I know. And little like soft voices coming out, You know what I mean? It's like, it's so funny. It's so funny. And so, yeah. So I asked him the other day, "You got a girlfriend?" And you like somebody or something, because I have these girls coming to me telling me all these stories. And he says, "No, Mom, but if I did, I would tell you." I went, okay, thank you. He's got no secrets. I like that. He's cool with that. So yeah, it's quite something. Yeah, it's quite something. Yeah. Yeah. It's exciting. It's very exciting. Because you can't be with somebody 24/7. And what I like about this is that you can't like you say, you can't save anybody. It's not your job. But everybody, it's, you know, can sort of come in agreement and help in a way that you can take that pressure off. Because in the end, it's all about what you're feeling, you know, feeling in a sense where if you're going through something, it's not as nice to do it alone. Or when you have a friend next to you and says, how does that make you feel? Then the pressure's off, you know? Then at least you can say, oh, this is what I'm feeling. The pressure's off. And I think, not what I think, I know. Now that I really know how relationships can add on to your life. They add on to your health. They add on to your life. Mm. Are you there?
Oh yeah, I am.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Because I'm just talking now, but I was just sharing, you know.
I'm just embodying your words.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what I still do, right? I that then wow.
Yeah.
Words, but like I imagine the words.
I just think that's the most powerful thing you can do, because the imagination, I just feel in my own heart, that was my super, um, how you say, my superpower as a little girl. I had imagination. And I actually thought, like, I have a van. We all have imagination as children. You know, we take a box and we'll think it's a truck, you know? Do you know what I mean? Drive the truck. Like my nephew, right? He's in a cardboard box, and he's just got everything. He's showing me, he's got the toot toot and the everything with the truck, you know, because he's into trucks. And he's like driving and he's showing me and it's quite something. And why I say that is that a broomstick could be like something that you can fly with, you know. So the imagination, when you imagine, I think this is when you really go further with the unknown of saying that is where it all starts, in the imagination. Because if I look back at my life and the imagination of what I imagine in my room, you know, playing things out with music, concerts, with movies, even what I read, no matter what, I always imagine the best things happening for me, do you know? And what I would have liked and what I would like, because, you know, just in general, there was things I went to bed hungry, for example, you know, and I used to just imagine, no, I just had the greatest, biggest, delicious meal ever, you know? And why I'm mentioning this is that it's moving me, because when in South Africa, Chris Duncan mentioned in New Zealand that you have to bring lunch to school. And in South Africa, we have to bring lunch to school. In the US, they give lunch. You know, you pay for it, but you get lunch at school, right? But in South Africa, you have to bring your own lunch. And I didn't have lunch, so I couldn't have lunch. And I remember the feeling of not having lunch. And everybody, you know, especially girls, it was a unisex, it was boys and girls school, but everybody sits in a circle and they have their lunch together. And I had to sit by myself because I'd had no lunch. And I can remember that. And I was always hungry. I was always hungry at school. And I realized, you know, from that day on, I will have to work. I will have to work because I'm not going without food anymore. And I did. I did start working at the age of 12. And I realized that yeah, I can provide for myself, you know, in the sense where I will never ever be hungry again. And I never was. And I never have been since that day.
Yeah, you're hungry for different things now.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, oh yeah. And that's the imagination now that really like allowing me to go back and realize that
The knowledge, the truth.
the knowledge. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the truth.
Totally.
I want to know.
Totally.
You know?
Totally. Yeah, totally, Pascal. Thank you. Thank you for filling the gap. Yeah, thank you.
I'm tired of hearing bullshit.
What's that?
I'm tired of like hearing bullshit.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh my God. Yeah, man. So like, that's why I say, can I just say that yesterday, this conversation, I felt it was a broadcast. We were on a broadcast and we were interviewing each other. I felt like I was like on a broadcast. I was like, I don't know. It was like the most incredible because I couldn't get, I usually get the replay because I like, you know, to listen. Because sometimes when you listen it once or twice or three times, it just like, whoa, that's right. It just like falls into place even more so, right? Because everything that we were sharing, I was so like, Jesse asked me, how are you feeling? How are you? As I came onto the call this morning. And I'm telling you, man, I had the most fantastic day. It was like,
person,
I
right?
had the fantastic day. I was so full that I had no words. I could not talk to anybody. I didn't need to talk. It was the greatest thing because usually I love to talk. But it was like, are you kidding me? It's like, no, I'm cool. I'm cool, man. I'm cool. And it was like, I just made my nice food for the day and I got to be with great energy, but I didn't have to say a word. And people are not like familiar with that because they look at me and go, you okay?
Yeah. Inside of you, you're laughing, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm more than okay. You kidding? Yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I love it because I love it. I just love it. And it makes me yeah, just so full and this is what yeah, I just love it. I'm so grateful for it, you know. It's real. It's real. It speaks to me. My body speaks to me. I get to feel it and know that this is real. This is real shit. Excuse me.
My biggest secret, there was like everything is within. And when I understand that and I embody that, everything changes.
Right? Yeah,
And
it's
it was transformed. I was transformed.
yeah, this is it. And I think that transform, yeah, because that's your word for the day, right? Yeah, transform, man. Yeah, man. It's so powerful, you know, and I mean all of our words are so linked together because when you're in the flow to relax and receive it and be it and live it, it's like it's effortless. It's like what were you struggling with? But it's just a process that needed like Jesse said, you gotta let go of what was, you know, the old because it is a letting go, right? Every day. But what's nice is to be in the present, like we are witnessing now. Like like right now. I right now, it's like I feel like I'm on the edge of the earth. Does that make sense? I don't know what's like right now, it's the now. And that's what matters. And yeah, it's just yeah. It's just great. It's like if we ever had to see each other physically in a physical form, it would be so familiar. It's like, oh, hi, how's it, Pascal? How's it going? It's not, you don't have to tell me who you are. I know who you are. To follow. Does that make, yeah, it's just, it's real. It's real. Today is a do-over. I agree. That's what Mona said. Today is a do-over. I agree. Mona, would you like to share before we leave? Yeah. Please, Mona. Share. Mona?
Yeah.
Are you there? Jess is asking, would you
Yeah.
share before you leave, please?
I was commenting to a comment that was made in the chat when he said that there was a couple of moments that he wasn't kind yesterday. And I said, today it's a do-over. We get a new day to start.
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
Like about the day before.
Love that.
We get to make a choice to be consciously kind or consciously, we have a choice how we want to, we have a choice how we choose to behave.
Beautiful.
And I was not in a space where I felt like I had a choice because I was very reactionary to a lot of things. And I didn't know how, I didn't know why. The program started to facilitate that process of knowledge. And then as I've been in contact with other people in the community, everybody has a different resource. People share meditations, or people share different people that talk about trauma and the information that's related to what we're doing. And the more knowledge you have about who you are, the more you can.
She broke. She's can't hear you.
Day.
You cut out the last bit. You cut out on the last bit. I didn't hear that.
Sorry about that.
No worries. But it was the last bit. What was the last bit when you ended?
You can take everything from the day before that was good. You can keep it.
Oh, I love this.
Carry it forward with as wisdom, and you can take the stuff that wasn't exactly how you meant to show up, and you can discard that, and you can make a new decision to be more aware. And everybody falls down. None of us are perfect. None of us are.
Yeah, we all fall off out of grace. I put it like this,
Yeah, we're not meant to meet the mark. If we were meant to meet the mark all the time, we'd be perfect, and we wouldn't need a God. We wouldn't need source.
Oh, come on now. Come on. That's beautiful.
We're not meant to be perfect. We're meant to have this journey.
Oh, God, thank you. Thank you.
I even had a discussion with my dad when I first started this program because I was introducing the information to him. And I told him once, I said, the reason I'm sharing this with you is I have a heart for you. I know where you're at. I don't want you to have to come back and do this journey over and be miserable again.
Oh.
Because I know what his life was like. And I know how he communicates with people, and yeah.
That's beautiful.
So by introducing the work to him, I get to help him be in a place where he can reflect. And he never was able to own up to his stuff. He was always, well, I did it because of, and I did the right thing.
Yeah.
And he never owned up to the possibility that there was mistakes made.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
And now he's starting to be more aware of what he does, how he does it, how he approaches people, how he talks to people. And he's starting to learn the lessons.
That's beautiful. That's powerful.
Not only is he learning them, he's applying.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
very
it's a
powerful.
effect, right? It's like by transforming ourselves, because it's
Yeah.
always with us, then we transform the people around us
Yeah.
without force.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the thing that really opened him up is he allowed me to do 3 recodes with him in person. And those were
Wow.
amazing.
Wow.
Because one of the recodes I did, I got so much information so fast I couldn't keep up with the recode.
Wow. Wow.
And it all
Beautiful.
had to do with family entanglement stuff in that recode.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And he had suppressed a lot.
Wow. Wow. Incredible, hey? Incredible.
Yeah, a lot of trap emotion, right?
He wasn't allowed as a kid to have any feelings. He was raised as an adult. So his first child got raised that way.
Yeah. Yes.
First.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I definitely feel the pain of these generation, right? Like we're really transforming now.
Oh my God. It's going rapidly. It's going very fast. And that's what I love when the body has to catch up, because it's been programmed unconsciously and with all this, that we got to train it and say it's okay constantly that we say it. Because if you don't mind, I'm gonna just read what I wrote down yesterday, because it's very personal, but it's something it's very short and sweet, but I just want to share because this is the time. And it will come in with what Mona was saying. And also I shared in the chat box, everything that has made you outside of the dying culture has now prepared you as a leader for this new earth. Yes. And the true happiness is not requiring, it's not achieving, it's serving. And what's amazing about it, that it is the infinite, invisible form of power. Because when I'm achieving, there are wins and there are losses. But when I'm serving, there's only wins. The absence is not being triggered. Mastering a magnetic mind, having a mastermind, is not the absence of not being triggered. The prefrontal cortex, which is now literally behind the eyes, it's in front of the brain, it's behind the eyes. It is the memory, the emotions, the impulse, the impulse of control, the problem solving, society interaction, and motor function. And we need our emotions, are able to make a decision. Without emotions needed, we can't make decisions, And what I just want to say, as I will end off, how we incomplete, always looking at how incomplete we are. But there's 3 things in life: the right to exist and to be ourselves. Number 2, to be loved and to be loved. And number 3, I need to be taken care of, and I need to be taken care of, and to be safe. I'm practicing. It's a practice. I'm reading out loud. I don't do that. Mona would know. And I've shared. So it's not something that can be very like, oh, she's just reading something out of, or she's just, trust me, this is a very courageous step I just made. Just telling you out there. Nothing, no need, no feedback, just telling you, this is deep. But I'm excited. I'm excited to share.
That's great. I just got a big hug from my dad.
Oh,
Just felt
oh, yeah, yeah. This it is really, yeah, powerful, because I always say, am I shy, or was I shy, or was I told to be shy? I don't know. I do know, because of the whole life told to keep quiet, don't talk. You know, keep quiet. Shh, you don't know anything. You know, shh, you know. And it's something I've unconsciously just said, yeah, well, I have nothing to say, so rather not say it. But I have a lot. I realize I have a lot to say, but there's a time and a place, right? And I'm just grateful for this time, because not everybody is ready, and I wasn't ready. So I know that the timing is always a season. There's always a time for everything. So for me to share this, and people that I truly admire and respect and love, feels good. Feels freaking good. Thank you, Mona. Thank you, Pascal. Thank you, Jesse. It's really cool. I love you, back. Thanks, Mona.
be here.
Yeah, it's like you're my first, like literally my first audience, you know, like, because I'm showing up, you know, I'm showing up, I'm just showing up. But I also know that, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to lead you guys to a little meditation. You guys want to?
Yes. Yes, I would like. Let's see what Jesse Mona says.
I think that would be great, Pascal.
Yeah, Mona's on board. And Jesse too.
Yeah, we'll call it. You can call it like anything you want, but the forest of desire. And I want you to really feel your body. Maybe take a big breath with me. Hold to the top. And release. And the more you're breathing, the more you're calming your mind without expectation. And I just want you to imagine that you're going to be walking in this forest, and notice around you, like, what is the season? Is it summer, spring, fall, or even winter? And to start, we're going to remove our shoes so we're really grounded to nature. And I really want you to feel the ground underneath you. Try to make it as comfortable as, and know that this forest is extremely safe. As you walk in the forest, notice that there is there's anybody walking with you, or you decide to go by yourself. And as you take a big breath in, smell what's around you. What does it really smell? You smell the trees, smell the fresh air. How do you really feel being in this forest of desire? And as you keep walking, I just want you to be aware of what you're stepping on. You keep walking and you hear maybe the birds chirping away. And it just feels so good. I want you to feel like you're connected to nature. You're breathing with the trees. Your feet are so grounded. You feel really that connection. Notice that it's a beautiful sunny day. And you start seeing like the sun through the branches and leaves. And you bat your whole body to the sun. You feel the warmth. You feel so safe, so warm, almost like a giant hug from nature. And as you keep walking, all of a sudden you see this big, big waterfall. And I want you to notice, like, what's the color of the waterfall? And you're so intrigued by this waterfall that you keep approaching it and you hear it. And it just feels so good. Feels so calm. And I want you to step underneath it. Feel the water against your skin. Almost like you're taking a shower. Feels so fresh. And you really amplify the joy that you have when you're underneath this waterfall. The more joy you express, the better you feel, calmer. It really amplifies. When you're underneath this waterfall, you really think, what do I really want? What do I really want? What does it represent to me? The life I love. And as you say these words out loud or in your mind, this waterfall transforms in whatever you like. It's more love. This waterfall transfers love. And you're underneath and you're batting it into like this water, but it feels like love. You're embodying love. Whatever you like. But very be clear in what you want. Because the waterfall amplify your choice. And when you know what you really want, I want you to breathe with me and we're going to amplify this feeling for the thing you want. A big breath in. One more together. And know you can always come back to this forest of desire whenever you want. Your imagination will take you there.
Mm. Oh. Mm.
As long as you want.
Mm. Mm. Let's go.
Yes.
That was, as I would like to say, you create twice, once in your mind and then in the reality. And that is what I have just experienced. Creating it in my mind, and everything about, everybody was, so they all know about it. The waterfall of love. Oh my God, yes. Waterfalls are my favorite things in the world. I just love waterfalls. And I always have it in my land of plenty. Yeah, waterfalls, and ocean, water. And I've always imagined that, So this is when this meditation for me really made me create it twice. Because now it's in my imagination. And now I can just be in this now, knowing that I can just go to it anytime I want. Pretty powerful. Thank you.
Yeah, and the best thing is like, you don't need to go anywhere.
Yes. 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 that's what I felt yesterday. It was like, I was so happy just being here and in my own home, and just I could have been anywhere. I could have been anywhere, but I chose where I wanted to be. But it was the most satisfying experience. Like, I'm really loving it, like loving it, and had a little something extra last night with a few of those dark chocolates. A little on that dark chocolate, that gives you that little kick when you want one. And I was just enjoying it, the pleasure of lives, and it was just like, wow. And that's the contentment that we're talking about, the contentment, be contented, That's, to me, that's what it is.
And what fascinates me, it's like, if we would have been doing this for real,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't be as present as right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's energy. It's shifted. It can't lie. People know when it's fake. You know when somebody's just saying for what they're saying, just for the saying. You know when somebody gets it. And also, when they don't get it. And there's no judgment on that. But it's just, that's what it is. And that's what I feel when somebody that you're present with and they want to be present with you. I don't think there's anything more satisfying, honestly. You don't have to say anything. I don't need to say anything. I choose to, because this is what I'm showing up for, because this is where I want to be. But also, I don't need to say anything either. It's just me being and knowing that you'll know. And that's where I think when you're coming from a place where you're coming from the heart of practicing, showing up, and knowing that you're just planting a seed. It's not your job that anyone receives or doesn't receive. It's just you doing you. Oh man. And we get to experience that. And we get to like benefit out of it. I mean, how incredible, how much value is that? You can't buy that. Yeah, this is what Jesse, yeah, you are powerful, Mona and Pascal. Thank you. All the ways you can have it now. Yes, you are powerful, Nikki, Mona, and Pascal. Nothing, Nikki, nothing better than being with each other in our power of serving. So much value. People don't know it. It's valuable. And that's what came to me. And it's just beautiful. Because when you're in serving, you will always win.
Yeah.
You're not trying to achieve anything. You're not trying to have anybody come in agreement with that. It's just winning. And it's not when people get triggered by winning. Serving, you always win. You do. You do. That's what it's all about. You know?
Yeah, and I think the
We
most
serve
powerful
one
thing
another. Yeah, we serve one another.
being with the person. So what fascinates me, it's like the more you are being with the person, the less they ask from you.
Oh my God. Drop the mic. Literally drop the mic. Do you know what that means, right? Drop the mic. Boom.
Yeah. I just dropped it.
Just drop it.
I'm walking out the stage now.
Just walk out, baby. Walk out. It's like, don't look back. Just keep walking. Jesus, it's amazing. This is it, eh? It's
Yeah.
it's it. It's I think it's just fully grown in a way of maturing and yeah, getting to literally take our first breath again, breathing. And I love the word gathering. You know, Jesse says we gather, we gather.
Hmm.
Because as we gather, we become one.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
it's
we
amazing.
already won. It's just to
Yeah. But
remember.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's just like we're removing that veil.
Yes, yes, yes,
We have this
yes.
plastic shield around us, and now like we're tearing out this shield, and now
Yeah,
we can be with all of us.
yes, yeah, yeah. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, yeah. Woohoo. Let's go. Let's go. My girls are loving these treats. I bought them beef liver treats. I'm telling you, they're just loving it. I'm treating the girls now. Come, let's have a treat. I have a Shih Tzu and a Maltese poodle.
A multi and what?
I have a multi poodle, a Maltese. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Maltese poodle, but I also have a Shih Tzu.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And the Maltese is bouncy. She's white, and then Rosie is black and white.
Mm.
She's the Shih Tzu. Yeah, they're very cute. They're my girls. I call them Charlie Angels because you know my son's Charles. So the three of us are Charlie Angels.
Nice.
So I tell them I tell them every day we got chosen by Charles
Mhm.
because he literally did. He chose Barnsey when I went, and he came with me, and he said, "Mom, that's the one." I said, "Are you sure?" He says, "Yep, that's the one." I said, "Okay, let's take her home." And we took her home, and we were in a taxi. And then I said, "What are we going to call her?" He says, "Bouncy." I said, "Okay." So he named her too. And then a year later, we were in the same neighborhood, a year and a half, and we came into the same place, and there's Rosie playing with her brother. And I looked at her, I said, "Oh, she's a fighter. I like that." And I took her out, and they put her in a little bench, like a little like place where we can play with her. Oh, we fell in love with her. It was just fell in love with her straight away. It was crazy. And then I said to Charles, "What do you think?" He says, "Mom, it's your birthday, right?" I said, "Yeah," because it was my birthday. It was actually my birthday, the 3rd of February. And she said, "Why didn't you buy it for your birthday as a gift for me?" You know, he's telling me, "I'm giving you the gift, but you must pay."
Mm.
So I said, "Okay." And it was very exciting, you know, because wow, I've always wanted my own dog in a way of, you know, growing up with them. They were always my mother's dogs. We always, you know, it was my mother's dog, it wasn't our dog. And I finally got you know, yeah, paid, and we were in the car, we were in the taxi, we were home with the taxi again. And I said, "Okay, we're going to call her." And it was like, it's like a repeat. He said, "Rosie." It was so easy for him to say the names. It came out so easy for him. He said, "Oh, it's going to be Rosie." I said, "Okay, Rosie's perfect."